Welcome to War on Comic. I'm Roger, and let's get started.
5:17 a.m., Sevastopol Bay, October 19th, 2025. A pale orange seam split the horizon. The water lay flat, almost glassy, reflecting the first light like polished steel. A 4,000-ton Alligator-class transport, call sign Neptune 14, eased forward at 9 knots. Its hull carried 472 tons of 152mm shells, rocket propellant, and cluster munitions stacked in standard 20-foot containers. The ship's running lights glowed soft amber. Watch crews sipped tea. The morning smelled of salt and warm diesel. No one noticed the faint ripple trailing 300 meters astern. Too low, too quiet, too patient. Then, the deck erupted. A single-shaped charge punched through the starboard waterline just aft of frame 68. A white-hot needle of light, gone in a blink. 3 seconds later, a secondary detonation lifted the aft superstructure 6 inches off its mounts. Container seams split in sequence, 34 failures in 8 seconds, each pop feeding the next like dominoes made of fire. Smoke towers rose 200 feet, curling into the dawn sky. The bow lifted, stern sagged, and the keel cracked with a sound like a tree trunk splitting in winter. No missile streak, no drone buzz, just a chain reaction that swallowed a warship in 91 seconds and taught an entire fleet that dawn can be more dangerous than midnight. Rewind to the moment the sun touched the water. 5:17 a.m. sharp. The Alligator-class transport, 96 meters long, 3 decks, crew of 84, glided under a radar umbrella Russia had certified secure 72 hours earlier. The Podvig M shore array swept clean arcs out to 60 nautical miles. Confidence read out, 99.6%. On the bridge, the officer of the deck logged routine traffic. 1 civilian tug at 4.2 nautical miles, 1 fishing skiff at 7.8. Nothing flagged. Below decks, the cargo holds registered 38 degrees Celsius, normal for packed ordnance. Then the first charge detonated at the waterline. A flash no brighter than a camera strobe. A hole the size of a dinner plate appeared in the outer plating. Superheated gas funneled into container. Row B9. Propellant bricks ignited in a chain that raced forward at 12 meters per second. Bulkheads buckled outward. Deck plates peeled like tin. Within 22 seconds, the ship listed 4 degrees to starboard. By 45 seconds, the list reached 11 degrees. Ballast pumps screamed, but could not keep pace. The stern settled first, bow rising, until the screws bit air. Steel screamed. Rivets shot like bullets. The final fracture ran the length of the keel in a single, clean snap. The two halves folded together, bow kissing stern in a slow, inevitable embrace. Silence followed. Thick, sudden, absolute. Rewind 42 minutes. A shadow hugged the transport's wake, 6.1 nautical miles astern. Manta 22, 21 feet bow to stern, 460 kilograms of carbon polymer and lithium. Heat signature held to 1.8 degrees above sea temperature. Propulsion, twin-ducted electric thrusters. Acoustic output down 69% from baseline. It moved like a thought, deliberate, unhurried. In a concrete bunker, 57 miles inland, 8 operators tracked the feed across 12 screens. Data streams merged. 8 commercial satellites, 3 hacked maritime radars, 12 passive hydrophone buoys. The picture was imperfect, lag of 1.4 seconds. Resolution grainy, but patterns emerged. The transport held 9 knots steady. Escort Corvette Bichak 09. Maintained station 1,800 meters off the port quarter, running quiet to mask sonar noise. A thermal bloom registered at 44 parts per million above background. diesel exhaust from the transport's auxiliary generator. That was the key. Manta 22 eased into the wake shadow, reduced speed to 7.8 knots, and vanished inside the larger ship's turbulence. Distance became illusion. Safety became memory. 5:22 a.m., 5 minutes after the first strike, a second pulse rippled across the bay. Softer, lower, calculated. Project Zero, 3160 patrol craft. Raptor 117, 38 feet, crew of 12, raced toward the sinking transport at 29 knots. Searchlights carved white tunnels through the smoke. The helmsman leaned into the turn. Then the bow lifted as if kicked from below. A column of water shot 15 meters high, drenching the wheelhouse. The craft listed 3 degrees starboard. Alarms howled. One propeller lost 41% thrust in a single rotation. The hit was not meant to kill. It was meant to paralyze, freeze the rescue, buy the primary strike time to finish its work. Rewind 21 minutes. Manta Mini, 2 meters long, 92 kilograms, had detached from the main unit, riding the prop wash of a passing civilian tug. No AIS, transponder, no radar cross-section larger than a seabird. It drifted on a converging vector, adjusting course by 11 degrees every 30 seconds to mimic flotsam. At 5:01 a.m., it locked onto Raptor 117's acoustic signature, cavitation noise at 210 Hz. The Mini closed to 120 meters, then loitered in the blind spot beneath the patrol craft's keel. In Sevastopol's command node, screens flickered. One operator demanded visual confirmation. Another tried to raise aerial drones. Response lag, 7.3 minutes. Too late. The corridor was no longer contested. It was owned. The pattern was the weapon. 72 hours earlier, Moscow had announced the Neptune corridor reopened. Press photos showed smiling admirals. Naval bulletins promised layered defense, surface groups, shore radars, anti-drone jammers. But announcements create rhythm. Rhythm creates predictability. The transport sailed at 9 knots on a 9-hour cycle. Escort offset widened to 1.8 kilometers at dawn to reduce sonar clutter. Thermal breaks near Cape Fiolant created a 2-minute window where radar horizons dipped. Ukraine measured every heartbeat. By 4:55 a.m., the final indicator turned green. Manta 22 spooled energy cells to 93%. Strike vector aligned within 38 centimeters. A single word crossed the bunker: execute. 4:56 a.m. Russian screens showed calm water. Podvig M rotated smoothly. Confidence 99.4%. Then a ghost contact. Size of a gull, speed erratic, bearing 272 degrees. Operator logged it. Probability 0.17. Doctrine said monitor. Instinct said ignore. The radar plotted a straight-line intercept. The Manta danced. Spiral breaks, radius shifts of 27 centimeters, depth pulses down to 1 meter. Prediction software choked. Then the TK-25K jammer aboard Bychok 09 flooded the band with 360 watts of noise. Screens went white. Filters kicked in. For 8 seconds, Russia believed it had won. In those 8 seconds, Manta 22 switched to inertial guidance. Drift under 1.9 meters over 6 kilometers. Physics over signal. Silence over noise. 5:06 a.m., Bychok 09 accelerated to flank speed, 32 knots. Infrared scopes swept low. 4 Sting-K decoy drones launched in staggered pairs. One skimmed the waves at 4 feet. One climbed to 30 meters and yawed. The others traced broken figure eights. Close-in weapon systems opened fire, 60 rounds per second, shredding empty air. The real threat rode lower, masked inside the corvette's wake. Manta Mini drifted across the bow at the exact moment gimbals reset. 3.2 seconds of blindness. In that window, the primary strike slipped beneath the gun arcs. Attention defeated defense. 5:17 a.m. The shape charge pierced container B9. Heat met propellant. The chain began. Detonation raced forward, 12 meters per second, popping seams, flexing bulkheads, lifting deck plates. Within 19 seconds, the list hit 7 degrees. Ballast tanks flooded unevenly. Frame 91 warped. The hull folded, stern dropped, bow clawed skyward. In the bunker, thermal cameras watched the signature collapse. No cheers, just a quiet nod. Mission complete. The Black Sea did not celebrate, it simply closed the ledger. 472 tons of ammunition vanished. A corridor declared secure became a graveyard. A navy built on certainty learned doubt in 91 seconds. Supply lines bent. Doctrine cracked. Somewhere inland, 8 operators powered down screens, exhaled, and began planning the next pattern. If you were on that bridge at dawn, tea cooling in your hand, horizon calm, then watched steel fold like paper, what would hit harder? The speed of the strike or the silence that followed? Tell me in the comments. If this dissection of naval precision, asymmetric tactics, and the new rules of maritime war keeps you on the edge, hit subscribe. We dive deep into U.S. Navy carrier strike groups, submarine operations, missile systems, and the shifting balance of global sea power. Every breakdown, every evolution, delivered straight to your feed. Don't miss the next wave.